It's okay, people. We all thought that Pat Robertson was dead, too. It's been quite a while since we've actually seen anything from him. And so a lot of us were just assuming he just kind of became that flesh-colored Yoda and went into the Force. You know? No, he's not going into the Force. Are you kidding me? He's not a good guy at all. He's going to talk to us about the thing that we've already talked about with Alex Jones and... Who else did we talk about it with? Josh Bernstein and a handful of other people.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Pat Robertson and the 700 Club have finally become acutely aware of Drag Queen Story Hour. I just feel like we need to finish the set. That's about all we're doing this for, is that like, oh yeah, let's hear what this other Christian's going to say.
Sure. What new insight?
Yeah. What new same thing we're going to hear this week?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this next story should shock the daylights out of you. I mean, you ought to do something about it. It's an outrage. Little teeny children, as young as 2 years old, being exposed to cross-dressers, homosexuals who dress up as women.
Not all drag queens are homosexuals.
Not all, but I'm sorry. They're drag queens. Yeah. They are not cross-dressers.
And they're called so-called drag queen.
Wait, you want to try that again, Pat? Let's hear that again. What was that?
They're called so-called drag queen.
I'm sorry.
Drag cream? Cream.
Drag cream is wonderful for your skin. It is fantastic.
Like you had a mini stroke right there.
It's from the Woman line of cosmetics.
Woman.
You say, well, that's something maybe for some weird television show or something, but no, it's from us. It's a few miles away from this place where I'm sitting right now in the studio. There's a library where they're hosting these events where men are dressed as women, and they've got all kinds of makeup on, and they're men acting like women. And they used to, out in San Francisco, used to call them he-she's.
No,
what the fuck? No, they didn't. Was Pat Robertson like dragging around in fucking San Francisco turn of the century? You know, was he like turning tricks in the fucking public park? Pat Robertson gave you a handy through the glory hole. No, but he'd have that ring that he would turn upside down to stab you. I bet as Pat's getting older, he's reminding himself of his gay past, and he's just... Because I'm sorry, you can't be completely straight and think about gay sex as much as these guys do.
This is true.
And they're reading books to children, and it's called the Drag Queen Story Hour.
My God, the audacity of these people reading to children. It's like somebody just coming in a costume, like dressed up as like their favorite anime character, or coming in dressed up like, let's say like a Star Trek character. Like, they're just a costumed person reading a book to a kid. What the fuck is your problem?
Well, you'd better get outraged about this, and many people are, but library officials sat at a recent event in Virginia and said it fits their city's vision of inclusion and diversity.
Yeah.
He's getting slower and slower as he's doing the show. He's like, we're not working. He's going to need a drool cup one of these days.
I'm sure he has one. It's just off camera.
And she has a name.
Give me a break. If you read the Bible, there are a couple of cities where they actually, the men tried to have sex with angels who were then as male figures.
No. The men were trying to have sex with this guy's daughter.
No. They wanted the angels, and then Lot offered up the daughters.
Oh, that's right. They wanted to rape the angels.
Bring them out here so we may know them.
But if you read carefully, angels are androgynous. They are neither male nor female.
Well, and also, like, the angels in the Bible are like D&D characters. They're like beholders kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
rings of eyeballs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they appeared as men in the Bible or whatever that fucking means.
Right.
I mean,
right. But they also, I mean, they also didn't explicitly say in that story
they had dicks.
that they wanted to nail the angels.
Oh,
they just
bring them to us so we may know them.
Right.
Oh,
there's
the
some translation issues going on here.
No shit.
And God destroyed those cities, and the crime was called, subsequent to that, was called sodomy. This whole thing is just an outrage.
I think we just ended up using that word to describe it because it was a biblical story.
We did, but it had nothing to do with it. The crime they committed was not sodomy or rape, which would actually have been worse. It was inhospitality. They were inhospitable to the angel. That's what the crime was.
And I learned from listening to the Godless Revolution this week what the definition of sodomy is. It can involve animals. I did not know that.
Yes, it can.
It's an affront in the eyes of God. And I think that's what we're trying to do, is to stick our fingers in God's eyes and say, okay.
It's pretty hot.
Are you sure it's his eyes?
That could be a kink right there. That's my kink.
I mean, I've never really been one to get off on that, but
I mean, I'm not into eye play, but
I'll look. I'll give anything a go once.
And if I believed in a God, I'd be going to hell for saying this. But if he's like Odin and he's missing an eyeball,
sure, there's a socket there.
That's a nice moist socket that you can put things in. Rinse, repeat.
Lord, you thought you were making people men and women. And that's what the Bible says. Male and female, he made them, as part of his creation. But
can we go back to eye fucking? I mean, because now you're getting boring about the
you're
made men boring, and women.
But don't go back to what he made, because that's super cloudy and vague.
Well, especially because intersex people are a thing, non-binary people are a thing, or I'm not trying to reduce them to a level of an item. I'm just saying that they exist.
Right.
That there's not necessarily clear cut XX XY.
Right. But there are other things.
Definition.
But even if you dig into those stories, there were clearly things he didn't make that existed.
Yeah.
There were people he didn't make that existed at that time.
Yeah, outside of this little tiny area of the Middle East.
Right.
I think China at the time, when this whole Lot story of everything, they were too busy making fireworks and paper and shit.
They were too busy figuring shit out.
And people in the Americas were creating giant fucking temples in the jungle and creating engineering marvels where we go, how the fuck did they do that? And the trading of obsidian up and down the coasts, and we had Vikings and shit going across them. Probably not that far back, but I'm just saying you had people that were seafaring at distances where people in the Middle East would only dream of.
Right. There was a lot of other shit going on.
We're going to fix it so that we're going to confuse the sexes. We're going to confuse everything you're doing, and then we're going to murder as much as if we have offspring as a result of our sexual activity.
What? Murder?
Murdering offspring?
Where did murder come in?
As a result of our sexuality? I mean, just because gay men fuck, that doesn't mean that, you're negative one child or anything right there.
No, it doesn't. I mean, unless you're counting, all those... I mean, are we in every sperm is sacred territory here?
Every sperm is good, and every sperm is needed.
Are we counting those as murders? Because my God, am I a mass murderer?
Oh man, there's actually a Sufjan Stevens song about. I'm going off topic here, but about John Wayne Gacy Jr. and there's he killed thousands with the slide of his hand. And they're like, oh, that's a masturbation reference. I got it. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he watched that episode of South Park with the Goobacks, where like the only way they can cause them not to happen was to have the giant man pile. We just need to fuck each other. That'll make them not come here in the future. Less humans in the future means they won't come back. God damn, sometimes South Park gets it right on the fucking nail. Like, they hit it right on the nose. It's great.
Out of marriage, we're going to kill the offspring, and we'll stick our fingers in your eye and show you who's boss. That was the original crime. That's what led to the destruction of the Tower of Babel. And
What?
it's what
No,
led
it's
to the
not.
destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
No. Oh my God, he's like totally getting his own stories mixed up.
Tower of Babel was just because they wanted to build a tall tower, and he's like, nope, fuck that. You can't come up to heaven.
Yeah. No, it was. Ooh, yeah. Totally. What the fuck?
And then Sodom and Gomorrah is like, hey, those are wicked people. I see them over there eating shit. I'm gonna destroy them. And then someone's like, no, I can promise you there's at least one good man that lives in this town. And you know what? Fucking, you guys don't need atheists to give you Bible study. Go read that shit yourself. Fucking hell.
No, I think the problem is they can't even understand it themselves because it's so fucking convoluted and hard to understand.
Everything's a metaphor too in those books.
Yeah.
States of America is on very slippery ground. I did a little feature with Scott Ross, and we'll talk about how to be blessable. It's one of the things we're going to make available.
How to be
blessable?
How to be blessable?
That's
what
not
does
a
that
thing.
even mean?
That's not a thing.
Can't you be blessed no matter what? I mean, you could have vomit coming out of all of your face orifices, and you could still be blessed. You know, someone's like, "Bless you, my child, even though you are upchucking with the greatest of velocity."
Well, I'm pretty sure I get blessed every time my face explodes when I sneeze. So,
exactly.
One of the things was, God bless America. How is God going to bless America if we put our finger in his eyes repeatedly?
That's the third time he's gone to that well. That's great. He's like, talking about fingers and eyes.
I mean, look.
You guys want a Werther's original? I don't normally share my historic flavored reasons with everybody, but...
I mean, yeah, poking somebody in the eye is kind of a dick move. But really? That's what you're going back to? Constantly?
Poking people in the eyes. And God's not going to bless America because we're poking him in the eye constantly. Poke.
I mean, why not escalate it? Why not we're punching God in the ear? I mean, that'd piss him off.
We're getting him in the dime bag. The dime bag? I don't know what it is.
I mean, I just once want to hear Pat Robertson say, "Oh, there's squirrel tapping God again."
Fucking God in the ass. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Tommy.
They're flicking God in the sack again.
Oh, God. It's the worst. My nuts hurt thinking about that. Fuck you, Kyle.